I really love Quan Chi as a character. I love her aura, her presence, the way she upholds herself in these chapters. She doesn't change or do anything special. She just stands there and looks scary. We know she has this personality to her. She has this affinity, affection, and pure love for her girlfriends. That's all she ever cares about. So if or when you ever have to go against her, it's the scariest thing imaginable. She doesn't fight for nothing. If she's coming out, there's a reason. She is the first devil hunter. She is one of, if not the most powerful human/hybrid character within the story. She will take on anyone. Every time she is within a panel or a chapter, she oozes the same energy, and it's so addicting. I think that's why there's such a massive fan base for her. Even though we've spent such little time focusing on her or expanding upon her character or her growth or her range and emotions, whatever it may be, the very small amount that we have is just enough to fully love her character, and that's all she has to be. Fujimoto right now is using her as a power weapon. Unfortunately, everyone in this vicinity does not have the capabilities to even stand toe-to-toe with her, and I think that's very important to point out. Katana Man, Nail, Asa and War, Fami, and the 3 other humans don't stand a chance. And these are all respectable people, powerful people. They all have somewhat good experience. Fami is a horseman that can control very powerful devils, yet within this fight she's nowhere to be seen. I haven't seen anyone talk about that, actually. She's not seen once within this chapter, so in my imagination, she's just standing in the corner watching it all unfold. And that makes me curious, because while on one hand it does work for her character, it makes perfect sense that she would act that way, she's also probably the only person here that could actually supply some sort of counterattack fitting of Quan Chi's caliber. God forbid she drops a primal fear, a very powerful devil, whatever her ace up her sleeve was, yet we see none of it. Now Fujimoto is using Quan Chi as a power weapon, but he's also giving a bit of information, crucial information, about Denji and the perspective towards Chainsaw Man. We get a reference to Kishibe in this chapter, which I feel like has been a long time coming. We don't know where he is, what he's doing, why he hasn't helped Asa or Denji or anyone. Really, he's gone. When Quan Chi is on her murder spree, obliterating everyone, she stops when she sees Chainsaw Man's head and was told to never make an enemy out of this one. I like this. That old friend could only really be Kishibe. He also knows the strength, capabilities, and what the range of Chainsaw Man actually is. There's also something a little bit cute here that I want to add on. He may also be scared, doesn't want Quan Chi to disappear. Kishibe knows that Denji has this ability to erase people, yet the semantics of that is different. I could easily be reading into it too much, but in the back of my mind, Kishibe being worried for a person that he's had a lot of love and affection for while constantly being turned down kind of fits for his character. Now I am heavily disappointed in Katana Man, and I want to have this section here just for him. He has not changed. He has not grown. He has not evolved or worked on any of his capabilities or powers or even his mindset towards how he fights people. He should have some sort of understanding of what Quan Chi is capable of, whether he actually knows information or he can just feel the aura in the room, because she alludes that. A way that you can notice this in Katana Man is that he instantly goes to one of his most powerful attacks. But we've seen this attack before. We've seen it work, and we've seen it not work. Now, if you were Katana Man, and you know that this attack has been bested before, and you see someone standing in front of you with so much killer intent and aura that's suffocating you, do you have full trust and faith in your attack to be able to kill her? Katana Man did not, and rightfully so, he died instantly. His head got cut off. To me, that is a waste of something so much more he could have been. Not in the sense that he's died and he's never coming back, but more so how much he could have grown over this period of time. He could have learnt new things. He could have tried new abilities and techniques and attack patterns, just, certain things to actually push him further forward. Of course, he's always been capable, but he's not keeping up. Now, ever since we found out that any sort of hybrid devil or even investigator that is working for public safety in part 2 should theoretically be manipulated. They're having things used against them, things that they love, things that they cherish, things that they want to get back. All of the characters that we've interacted with so far, we have found out bits and pieces of how public safety is using things against them. This brings up a question for me, because the eye patch guy is gone. He's out of the scenario. He gets killed by one of those fake Chainsaw Man humans that we seen a couple of chapters back. Very good. I have a question about Yoshida. If everyone that we have seen so far has some sort of leverage being used against them, what is Yoshida's? Are we all murky and weird about how Yoshida has acted throughout this whole story? There is so many points within Chainsaw Man Part 2 that make no sense for public safety to give those orders. It seems more like Yoshida is doing those orders himself, or bending the rules just a little bit. One, so public safety don't find out, and two, potentially whatever's being leveraged against him, he can still actually obtain. Could it be a family? Could it be his freedom? Could it be safety, etc.? We just don't know. But even he explains that the company has changed, the direction and vision has changed. They're no longer about public safety, they're about political gain and power. They want to have control over anything and everything, which makes perfect sense when you think about their usage for Makima. Their want to control and subjugate Chainsaw Man. Anything that is too powerful for them to handle, they want off the street. But it just coincidentally coincides with, well, we take powerful devil off the street not because of us, but because we want to protect the public. It works hand in hand. Sooner or later, I would like to believe that we will find out what Yoshida's fate is, and it's probably not a good one. I don't want to say that he's going to die, but it's not in his favor currently. I think I am very curious about Asa and War's reaction to this whole situation, right? Because Quan Chi has just obliterated everyone, yet she's backed off entirely. She wants to be free of all of this and just save her girlfriends. I don't know how that would work in the eyes of public safety, because it's probably difficult for them to believe that someone as powerful as Quan Chi could actually be defeated, but you have 2 horsemen, 2 hybrids, and 3 civilians. Anything could happen. War is questionable in here for me. She does try to fight, but I don't think her heart is really in the game, and honestly, it's becoming more and more skewered. Don't get me wrong, I love Asa's character. I adore War as a character and an entity, but this fight doesn't seem too serious for her, and I wonder if, because of the ability to turn things that has this guilt towards it into powerful weapons, if she's not really in the mood to fight, or she doesn't want to fight a certain thing in front of her, her power level just drops, just tanks. And you can say, well, she's survived a Quan Chi encounter, that's impressive. True, but Quan Chi also isn't really doing much. The reason I mention this is because War asks a very interesting question. Is Chainsaw Man stronger than Quan Chi? She says he's weaker, but far more fearsome. Now this is a loaded statement. Yes, on one hand he is weaker, but the far more fearsome is the ability to adapt and survive. There's a reason why Chainsaw Man, aka Denji, has gotten as far as he has, defeated very powerful individuals before Full Pochita takes over, is because he's able to just go all out. That fearsome is something that Quan Chi does not have. Her statement is accurate, but it's also incorrect, because the person that War is actually looking for is not technically Denji, it's full armor Pochita, and that is the form that Fami has promised. This is why I've always mentioned that no one really understands the difference between Denji and full armor Pochita, because that comes down to experience and if they've witnessed it or not. But then again, no one really clarifies it towards each other. So even though everyone here wanted to see Chainsaw Man and fight Chainsaw Man and do their own thing with Chainsaw Man, there was different values and versions of it. War wants to fight the strongest, perfect pinnacle of Pochita himself. So the face that she makes to Quan Chi's statement saying that he's weaker, she looks a little bit disappointed, a little bit annoyed, but she's probably taken it the wrong way. I am very interested to see how Fujimoto maneuvers this whole thing, because we're kind of, oddly enough, in the clear now. Sure, they could send more backup, but realistically we just have to leave this compound with all the body parts that we've collected of Chainsaw Man. Simple as that. However, is it that simple? In the back of my mind, there's something going on with Asa and War, because of the words that War just heard about him, but also the emotional response that Asa had to seeing Denji. I feel a conflict brewing between them. We do not have a chapter next week, but I thoroughly enjoyed this one, as simple and straight to the point as it was. welcome to the end of the video. If you've made it this far, thank you. I appreciate it. Leave a like and subscribe. That'd be nice. Also, check out some of these videos here. The more you watch, the more YouTube recommends me and it supports me. I love that and you might enjoy the video. I would love to hear your thoughts on this chapter. And with that, I will see you all later.